Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News update. Mayors across Prince George's County are leading by example, and they are urging you to get out and vote early. Dozens of mayors from across the county will be submitting their ballots in a drop box in front of the Board of Elections office in Largo tomorrow.
We wanted to have an event where we are the forefront. We are the face promoting the importance of voting. And so the idea came across us that, hey, we shouldn't just talk about it. As mayors, we should lead about it. And so we want folks to see us doing our part in voting and voting early.
Remember, the last day to register to vote in Maryland is October 13th, next Tuesday. Well, a new GOUCHER poll takes the pulse of Maryland voters on the upcoming presidential election. Considering that Maryland is a blue state, the results are not surprising. GOUCHER has Joe Biden favored by 61%. President Trump gets 30%. Meantime, 51% say they will vote early or on Election Day, while 48% of voters say they will submit a mail-in ballot. Well, the founder of the progressive organization Strong Future Maryland has his eyes set on education reform in Maryland. John B. King Jr., who served as Secretary of Education under President Obama, recently launched the organization to help create what he calls New Deal-like solutions for Maryland's problems. King points to police reform, climate change, and the blueprint for Maryland's future education reform plan as areas of concern.
And that blueprint laid out investments in education that would invest in our teachers, invest in quality pre-K, invest in career and technical education so that students can access good jobs. And it would have significantly increased funding in the districts that have the greatest need, in particular, Baltimore City and Prince George's County. And unfortunately, the governor, in a very short-sighted decision, vetoed the blueprint. And now the legislature needs to come back and override that veto, because this is a moment where we should be increasing our investment in education, not shrinking from it.
For more information, go to strongfuturemd.org. A bipartisan group of lawmakers has voted to make some changes in policing in Maryland, but are holding off on some of the more controversial proposals. Some of the recommended changes include requiring more mental health screenings of officers, to studying whether someone other than police should respond to certain 911 calls. They have yet to decide whether to revise the Police Officers' Bill of Rights. Also still under consideration a statewide use of force law and who should prosecute misconduct cases. The chair of the group says they will hash out those issues when they meet for the last time next Thursday. Well, detectives seized guns and stolen vehicles from a Beltsville business, and they say the owner is responsible. This is 30-year-old Herman Guzman. He owns GR Motorworks, an auto repair shop in Beltsville. Investigators executed a search warrant at the business this week. Police say they found stolen motorcycles, ATVs, along with guns and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. Guzman faces weapons and vehicle theft charges. Baltimore City Police have made 2 arrests in the murder of an MTA bus driver. Driver Marcus Parks was fatally shot while on duty yesterday morning. The suspects have been identified as 24-year-old Cameron Silcott and 27-year-old Nichelle Green. Police say Parks got into an argument with a man who stole his bag and ran from the bus. Parks was a friend of Baltimore Mayor Bernard Young.
And this is really hard for me because he went to work every day. He wasn't a troublemaker. He tried to make sure that he resolved conflicts with anybody that had conflicts, and he was just a great guy. And I just want to thank our law enforcement officers, especially our detectives, for the great work they did in apprehending these 2 suspects. Thank you.
Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact police. County Executive Angela Alsobrooks is urging parents to stop hosting hotel parties for their teens and leaving them unattended at National Harbor. Alsobrooks says hundreds of people gathered in large groups this summer, and she says that led to a number of incidents, including thefts and fights. Alsobrooks says it's an ongoing issue.
The National Harbor is a project that we all enjoy, but it is a business. It is not the playground. It is not an amusement park. And it pains me to have to say that, because I understand what our kids are going through. I have a 15-year-old as well, and I know during this time it has been challenging to find activities for them. But leaving unaccompanied youth at the National Harbor in the thousands for hours is not conducive.
Also, Brooks says she'll be working with the COVID-19 Ambassador Compliance Team to address this issue. Well, police need your help in locating a missing man. He is 72-year-old Edward Davis of New Carrollton. Davis was last seen Wednesday night on the 5400 block of 85th Avenue. Davis is just under 6 feet tall, weighs 170 pounds, and was wearing a black hat, gray shorts, and black pants. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call police. It's called Voter es Poder, an effort that both celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month and the upcoming election. It includes a digital voter registration campaign this year and encourages all eligible Latinos to vote. The organization uses art and music to reach out to young audiences.
We specifically picked artists from our communities that work on political art and they speak on the issues that affect them. So right now, for example, in the gallery, we're featuring an artist, Fabiana Rodriguez. She's been in this fight for many years. She has a piece in this exhibit that connects voting with the environment. So, you know, there's a lot of conversation happening online right now about, you know, what's happening to our planet. She's developed this piece that, you know, makes you think about that issue and also at the same time, you know, invites you to come out and vote on November 3rd. We have another artist that has also been in this fight for many, many years. I'm excited to have him on board. His name is Lalo Alcaraz. He's a cartoonist. He does a lot of political art. And so we're featuring a lot of his work in this exhibit. Specifically, his art is talking about immigration and the issue with having kids in cages. So he tries to bring humor into such a serious conversation, and he presents it in a very different ways.
For more information on the project, go to poderlatinx.org. Well, the Maryland Board of Elections is warning against voter intimidation. Vice Chair of the board, Patrick Hogan, says he feels compelled to remind residents over the state's voter intimidation statute because of the unique situation that we are in. The comments come on the heels of President Trump's remarks last week during a debate when he suggested voters should be on the lookout for fraud. The Vice Chair of the board is a former Democratic state senator. Well, for the first time ever, Prince George's County will celebrate Native American Day this coming Monday. Locally, this region initially belonged to the Piscataway Conoy tribe. If you're looking for some ideas on how to celebrate indigenous cultures during the pandemic, the National Museum of the American Indian has a few suggestions.
Native plants add and contribute a great deal to a healthy ecosystem, and they support a lot of insect life, which is really the energy that feeds the birds and all those things that I think so many of us have enjoyed so much more and had a little more time outside since the pandemic. So I recommend exploring the value of native plants and even growing them in your own backyard. Another local strategy might be to discover and look at some websites and find out where the people whose land you live on now, you know, either where they are or if they're still there and who those people are, and to name those people. So that you might think about, for teachers especially, a land acknowledgement. So here we have a variety of contemporary perspectives from Native people themselves to help support teachers and classrooms and even parents. I explore the website with my kids, and there's some great videos that really talk about not only Native American contributions, but the ongoing resilience of contemporary Native people today.
For more information, log on to americanindian.si.edu. Native American Day replaces Columbus Day after the County Council passed a measure in 2019. Nearby jurisdictions have also made similar changes. Well, from the wheel at the National Harbor to the Hyattsville Art District, Prince George's has something for everyone. Now a local organization is encouraging residents and visitors alike to check out what the county has to offer. Keisha Butts has that story.
Experience Prince George's has a new initiative called Social Distance Here. It's encouraging visitors to see what the county has to offer and residents to explore what's in their backyards. President Leslie Graves says there's plenty to do.
Our Six Flags is open, of course, always a wonderful place to be able to social distance. The MGM has a wonderful outdoor venue once you're inside to go out and take photos and sit outside. It's a vast space, so you certainly can social distance here. You know, I mentioned Tanger Outlets, the Wheel. Take your kids down to the Awakening and have a good time.
Talk to me about some of the different outdoor activities.
We have a multitude of parks here in the county, and they continue to open. So we now have camping opportunities. We always have had fishing. Our waterways are open for boating, picnics, all of those kinds of fun activities. We also, though, are in the fall, and so that means our pumpkin patches and our farms are open for everyone to come visit. We encourage folks to visit Queen Anne's. We encourage folks to visit Mount Pillier and Bowie, and bring your children, bring your family. Social distance there.
Graves also wants you to know if you like to shop, there's Bowie Town Center and the Hyattsville Art District. This is Keisha Butts with CTV News. Back to you.
As part of the campaign, Experience Prince George's has created a brand ambassadors program to highlight county attractions and activities. Well, a Baltimore City educator has been named the 2020-2021 Maryland Teacher of the Year. He is Wyatt Oroki, and he teaches at City Springs Elementary School. The announcement was made last night by State Superintendent Karen Salmon. Oroki has been with City Springs since 2015, where he currently teaches 7th and 8th grade English. He also works with girls volleyball and boys basketball at the school. Oroki, who will go on to compete for the National Teacher of the Year award, will receive cash awards, technology equipment, and a new car. Well, week 5 of the NFL season will look very different for the Washington football team. The Burgundy and Gold will kick off Sunday's game against the Rams with a new starting quarterback. Kyle Allen will take the snaps under center after head coach Ron Rivera benched Dwayne Haskins. Washington has lost 3 consecutive games.
With a chance to step up in the division, I think I'm wrong. I would be wrong to continue to try to do the same thing. If we're still trying to teach one guy and the other 52 aren't given the opportunity to see whether or not we can win these next 4 games, that's not fair. We're trying to develop a young quarterback, but we got one eye on what's happened in our division. If somebody was 4-0 and somebody else was 3-1, okay, but there's a chance to win.
For me, it's kind of like an everyday thing. Show up and be ready when your number's called. I think it's the name of the game in the NFL, especially for a guy like me who came into this league undrafted, who was 4th string to start, got limited reps in early camp. And you just kind of, when you get your opportunities, you just got to pounce on them and take advantage. And so that's kind of been the story of my career so far. And I know the more I take advantage of opportunities, the more I'm going to get. I'm always here for the team. I'm always ready to support whoever's in there. But if it's my opportunity to go, I'm going to be ready for it. For us in the middle of the division right now with a chance to win on Sunday and get ourselves back in the top of it, it's a great opportunity. We're all just focused on this week. We're really ready to take advantage of this opportunity.
Veteran Alex Smith will be on the backup quarterback on Sunday. The Rams come to town with a 3-1, 1-loss record. Well, checking your weather forecast, tonight mostly cloudy with lows in the 60s. Tomorrow, a mostly cloudy day with highs around 76. Sunday, rain likely, highs in the mid-70s. Monday, more rain with highs of around 70 degrees. And that is your news update. I'm Byron Scott. Good night.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
The coronavirus has affected the African American community in many ways, including a drastic drop in blood donations. This is the time to take care of one another, and blood transfusions from healthy African American donors can be a life-saving treatment for patients with sickle cell disease or cancer. The American Red Cross adheres to the highest standards of safety and infection control and urges you to come out to donate. Please, make an appointment today at redcrossblood.org.